Okay, I think we'll get started now, and hopefully, if anyone else joins us, they can just hop right into where we are in the presentation. So welcome everybody to this Gut Glow training that is being offered by our founder, Marc St. Onge. We're really happy that you were able to take the time today to join us and learn all about this amazing new product. We are so excited about this product launch. It's been one of the most exciting new products that we've had in quite a while. We've been getting some amazing feedback and really, hearing great response from everyone who's been carrying the product and everyone who's taking it personally. So we are very much looking forward to sharing with you all of the exciting benefits associated with this product and why you should carry it if you don't already. So I am going to turn it over to Marc, but if you do have questions throughout the presentation, please pop them into the Q&A and we will address all of your questions at the end of the presentation. And just so everyone knows, this is being recorded and you'll receive a recording of this after the training. So thanks so much.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I can't see anyone, so it's a little bit awkward here, but thank you so much for everyone who took the time out to join us to learn about this. I agree, it's a very exciting launch for us. It's a bit of an exciting launch for me personally because of the personal story associated with the development of this particular product, which I'll share a little bit about that. But for everyone else, this is the first launch since we launched Reset approximately about a year ago. And this is part of the expanding portfolio of our skin climate system. So as you know, Ben Beauty is all about beauty from the inside out, bring in really evidence-based lens to how we can really impact, modulate, improve, and target the skin through various mechanisms that happen both locally as well as systemically from the inside out. So we say gut glow, keep your gut beautiful and balanced. And we've also had a lot of fun with this new hashtag poop good, look good. And there's a lot of truth to this. And I think a lot of people, they don't like to talk about their bowel habits. I think I've worked in the health profession now for 25 years, so it's total commonplace for me. I actually enjoy this topic. But for a lot of people, they suffer in silence when they go to even, to see a physician for an annual checkup. It's typically the thing that does not get mentioned. People feel a bit uncomfortable. So when we talk about hashtag poop good, look good, we want people to lighten up, to know it's okay to talk about poop. And of course, we're talking here in the context of health, but as well beauty. Here we go. And before we jump into talking about this exciting new product, let's just revisit the fact that Ben Beauty, what we are a brand about self-love. This is, when we look back over the last couple of years, such a challenging time for everyone. I think everyone went through their own particular struggles and feeling a little bit depleted. And I think what could really define this year for a lot of people, if we start to hold that context of self-love, about now starting to bring that energy back in, nourishing ourselves, feeling better, feeling beautiful. We know that feeling beautiful always kind of precedes looking beautiful. So we want you to think about gut glow in the sense of this is a foundational aspect of how we can really flourish inside, and we'll get into why, gut health is just so important, not just, as a functional aspect of health, but how it impacts every day how we feel. So kind of on that topic, gut health is referred to by most health experts as the root of your overall well-being. It is the place where a lot of disorders and dysfunctions and chronic conditions kind of have their origin. We have good days and we have bad days. And the reality is a lot of people will be able to relate to a product like this and say, yeah, I experienced some of those things, and this is how I feel when I feel like my digestive system is a little bit out of balance. And it impacts every aspect of physiological function as psychological functioning. Why? It can impact neurotransmitter levels. 90% of the feel-good neurotransmitter serotonin is produced from gut cells. So there's so much more than digestion that is happening, along that gastrointestinal tract. In fact, 90% of serotonin, a lot of people used to think serotonin is only produced in the brain. It's that brain chemical, but no, actually 90% of it is from cells that are lining the GI tract. Chronic inflammation, if there's one thing that we've been talking about for years now, it's target chronic inflammation. If you want to live healthier, live longer, have more beautiful skin, we need to target chronic inflammation. And this is a product that can really help you to really dial that in. And immunity has been probably maybe the #1 topic people have been talking about since the beginning of the pandemic. So having a nice, robust immune function is important. And well, we know that 70% of all your immune cells line your digestive tract. So it's a very, very complex kind of environment that we're dealing with that have huge consequences when it's out of balance, the ripple effects, the systemic effects that it's going to have on how we experience our everyday life. Also residing in your gastrointestinal tract are trillions of bacteria and other types of microbes, sometimes yeast, sometimes viruses. We call this the human gut microbiome. I'm sure everyone has come across articles and new findings about how the microbiome, this diverse environment of bacteria in our gut, is influencing, once again, it's how we feel. These bacteria can influence how we look. These can influence our energy levels. So they can elevate us and they can bring us down. And Gut Glow was formulated to address all these underlying issues that cause digestive as well as gastrointestinal imbalance, right? It's not just about digestive. It's about the overall kind of opportunity to impact every facet of our health by having a really balanced gastrointestinal environment. And of course, we are in fact a beauty company. We're health and we're beauty. We're kind of at that cross section. So of course, this is an important aspect of how we address that key pillar, what we call the gut-skin axis. So yes, the gut and the skin are intrinsically linked. And when we think about it from a physiological level, the lining, think of both the skin and the gut as linings. Well, when you think of it, they're really attached, right? They're continuous. There's the outside and then there's the inside part. And what a lot of people don't realize is that within the gastrointestinal tract, called the intestinal lumen, that is still technically the outside of your body. So when we consume all the foods that get digested through the gastric system and moving through our small intestine, then our large intestine, while it's still in our intestinal tract, that is still considered to be outside of the body. But that lining is doing a lot of important things and starting to pull the beneficial nutrients from those foods across the intestinal lining into the bloodstream, to the liver, through the rest of our body. That is when it's truly in the body. So they are trying to keep trying to allow the good things in and keep the bad things out. Our skin is doing the same thing, and they share a lot of common connections, and they can influence each other. And maintaining, of course, a good balanced microbiome, as well as the immune system that lines the gut, is key to promoting overall well-being, physiological and psychological well-being, but also skin health, as well as the concept that we're also trying to layer in here is overall longevity. And this is just a schematic of what we call the framework for our skin climate system. There are in fact 6 pillars that we have identified that are essential to promoting skin health and longevity. Starting with #1 and #2, which are addressed by Renew and Protect, chronic inflammation, UV protection. Then number 3, collagen stimulation, which is supported by our marine collagen plus cofactors. 4, the liver skin axis. So really talking about these axes in the body. The liver skin axis is of course addressed by our product Reset, which we launched a year ago. Number 5 is the gut skin axis, that now we have this beautiful product offering to address that important aspect of skin health and longevity. And the 6th one, which we are very close to filing to Health Canada to achieve our product license. So a future product launch will address emotional well-being. There is an axis, an additional axis we call the psychodermal axis that, yes, also has, based on the research, can impact the qualities of our skin, and and we all could use a little extra emotional kind of well-being support. So, but today we're just talking about the gut skin axis and gut glow. So we know there's a connection of gut health and skin health, but what is the real opportunity? Why should we really get excited about this, for our practice, whether it's, an aesthetics practice, a dermatology practice, a naturopathic practice? Well, a lot of people actually have issues related to gut function. 40% of people experience functional gastrointestinal disorders, and this has a huge impact on quality of life. So when we say functional gastrointestinal disorders, these are more than just the little, I have an upset stomach, feeling a little bit more flatulent. These are people that have a very defined disorder related to the gastrointestinal function. And within those 40%, there's 1 in 7 people in North America suffer from irritable bowel syndrome. And unfortunately, for some reason, this is a lot more common in women than it is in men. Most North Americans do not eat nearly enough fiber. And not all fibers are created equal, so it's not just about quantity, but it's the quality and types, and that's why Gut Glow was formulated with very specific fibers. There is growing awareness of this gut-skin connection. You can read about it in different wellness journals, even dermatological journals. Our product here is a lot more effective than the typical fiber supplements, and it's a lot easier to use. Many people are turned off by the idea of a fiber supplement because they may have this idea of it being like really gritty and goopy and thick and very difficult. You almost have to grin and bear it. This product, there's none of that. This makes it so easy for people to use, and so you could almost reintroduce to them again the idea of adding additional fiber, and it really kind of integrating well into anybody's lifestyle. And this is a new product from Bend. I think we've developed a lot of trust within the marketplace as being an evidence-based nutraceutical company, where we're actually able to stand behind the claims that we're promoting, that's on the package. You can believe that the indications of use are going to be those benefits that you will experience, and because they're so well formulated, you're going to experience these benefits sooner than later. Some products, they say, well, you have to wait, 4 or 5 months before you're going to see any improvements. Sometimes we get to that point that I don't really know if I'm experiencing any change in my health whatsoever. With Ben's, we've taken an approach that we want people to experience a benefit within the very first, a bottle or in this case, pouch that they buy. Now, when it comes to identifying, is this product kind of right for me? Here's just a part of the list as far as if you experience one of these symptoms, this is going to be the perfect product for you. It's going to help you to regulate, to improve upon those particular symptoms, maybe even eliminate them. So bowel irregularity, constipation, loose or hard stools, and sometimes an imbalanced gut. We kind of alternate from loose to hard stools. That's not a very good situation to have. A lot of us will feel a sense of bloating, especially a little bit after we eat. there's too much gas production. There's a little bit of swelling in the gastrointestinal environment, a change in osmotic pressure. So we kind of hold water in the wrong places. There's a lot of intestinal discomfort. So when we talk about IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, that is a situation that tends to come in waves and creates a lot of irritation of the gut lining. And when we have that, then irritation is the same as inflammation, and that inflammation is going to affect the way that we feel. And there is a strong connection to also the brain. So, we talk about the gut-skin axis. We could also equally be doing a whole entire presentation on the gut-brain axis. So I would add to that, if you have this kind of these fogginess, sensations where your thoughts are not quite clear, you can't seem to focus that well, this may also be a product for you. And then, of course, the end of the list, flatulence and weight gain. These are all things that indicate that gut glow is indicated for those symptoms. So what is in it? It's actually pretty simple formulation, only 3 ingredients, 3 medicinal ingredients, 0 non-medicinal ingredients. The entire formulation is certified organic, which we're really excited. Our first totally certified organic formulation. And I'm going to start on the left. So we have what most people would say is I've never seen a gut formulation with this mushroom called tremella. Most people are not even familiar. What is tremella? We're actually going to get a little bit into that in the next slide. But this is a very concentrated extract, a 10-to-1. So it takes 10 kilograms of the tremella mushroom to create 1 kilogram of the extract powder. And so we have, depending on the dosage, either 2 scoops, you get 240 milligrams, or 3 scoops, you get 360 milligrams of this extract. Then we have our first kind of prebiotic soluble fiber ingredient called sun fiber. So this is a trademarked fiber ingredient, and it is probably one of the most studied, clinically studied fiber ingredients, called partially hydrolyzed guar gum or guar fiber. So you get anywhere between 3,500 to 5,250 milligrams of sun fiber per serving. And then on the right, we have yet another prebiotic soluble fiber called Anavia, which is a trade name for another well-researched fiber called acacia gum. And you get 1,600 to 2,400 milligrams of acacia gum per serving. So let's dive in a little bit more into the medicinal ingredients, and I'm going to start with tremella. You think, I might start with one of the fiber ingredients, and that the fibers, of course, are very, very instrumental to delivering exceptional benefits with this product. But like I said, the formulation of this particular product started with a bit of a personal story. So I would fit in the category of 1 in 7 people in North America that suffer from IBS. And I've had a challenge with trying to manage my IBS symptoms for 20 years now. And anyone in the audience that is also, whether it's IBS or another kind of chronic gastro type issue, you know what I'm talking about when you're always suffering in silence. For all intents and purposes, it should be a great day for you. And then underneath the hood, there's that irritation, there's that inflammation, and it's not just the irritation factor that it's affecting how your brain is operating. It's your ability to think. It's also your mood. We know that 90% of all serotonin is produced by gut cells. So of course that is going to be impacted when you're in a state where you have inflammation of the gastrointestinal lining. Inflammation of the lining also leads to a concept called leaky gut, where the porosity of the gut, which is necessary to assimilate nutrients, but when it's faulty, it's allowing a lot of undigested food particles and even bacterial products into the circulation of your body, and that is also creating this vicious cycle, creating more systemic inflammation, and just making you feel less than optimal. And when it becomes a chronic issue, you're willing to try anything. And I tried just about anything over the last 20 years. And I've worked in the natural products industry for 25 years, including in a research capacity. So when I found tremella mushroom, it was a game changer for me. Now, I learned about tremella not through reading scientific journals initially, like I do now. I follow all the research around tremella, but there was a doctor from Russia who was an expert in functional mushrooms, and different parts of the world have more background in terms of utilizing medicinal mushrooms and functional mushrooms to treat different kind of conditions. And this was one of the mushrooms that this doctor was actually using to treat his very, very challenging gastrointestinal patients. So patients that were suffering from chronic, gastrointestinal issues, and able to get them into a remission state. So that's pretty impressive. And so I thought, well, if this is working for those types of conditions, maybe it works for IBS as well. And that's what I found when I started using the mushroom. And what I actually did, I don't think you can actually see my camera right now, but I actually have the mushroom itself in my hand. And I would go to the Asian food store and I would actually purchase these mushrooms. I could never find organic, which was unfortunate. But I would buy the mushroom and I'd have to go through all the preparation steps that this doctor told me. It's like, you have to, boil it for a certain amount of time, and then you have to let it sit, and then you puree it, and then you take a certain amount every day, and then you'll get the benefits of this really amazing medicinal mushroom. And that was true. I saw the benefits immediately. But what over time I found is it was very inconvenient to go through all these steps of preparing the mushroom. And also I was kind of, wondering, like, what's the overall kind of purity of the mushroom? How is it being grown? It wasn't certified organic. So, having something organic was also very important to me. But I had such a great success for the first time in 20 years of a chronic condition that I really struggled to keep under control. Now, this mushroom has been around for, we'll say, over like 2,000 to 3,000 years. So it's part of the traditional Chinese medicine system. In fact, there's a lot of ancient texts that talk about this as being one of the most coveted beauty elixirs even 2,000 years ago. But now we're more concerned about the modern research, and the modern research is building very quickly around this mushroom. It's starting to become a bit of a superhero kind of nutraceutical and has a myriad of health promoting properties. The medicinal part of this mushroom happens to be its unique polysaccharide fraction. So that's really when we get these extracts, these more concentrated extracts, what we're doing is we're concentrating the polysaccharide content. So we don't have to take as much of the actual mushroom. We can actually take a very small, much smaller dosage, but still getting that big benefit. And if you're like me and you follow the research around tremella, you'll see that the areas that it may be impacting based on animal research is pretty exciting, is broadening. So there is a lot of research around its neuroprotective properties. It has, as I experienced myself, it has these anti-inflammatory properties. It also has unique skin health and UV protection properties. When there was a few years ago that Ben Beauty in our in vitro cellular research lab, we actually took this concentrated polysaccharide extract from tremella, and we looked at how, when we fed it to skin cells, what kind of properties could it produce. And so at the time we were really focused on UV protection. So we were able to stress the cell with UVA and UVB radiation. We found that it had a significant impact in protecting that cell against both UVA and UVB radiation. Now, these are cellular models. These are not human clinical models. And the last thing is there's emerging evidence, including a little bit of clinical data to support wound healing, things like gastric ulcers, etc. So, this is one that guaranteed will just continue to grow in popularity. And, and as far as its role in this particular formulation, it's really helping to modulate the gut immune system. So once I'm going to keep reinforcing this, 70% of your immune cells are situated in the lining of your gastrointestinal system. So to have strong immune properties and also to keep a good, healthy gut environment, we need those types of ingredients that can help to modulate the gut immune system. Moving on, we come to, this is another exciting ingredient that I've been a big fan for a number of years based on following all the clinical research. Partially hydrolyzed guar gum. Maybe you've heard of guar gum. It's actually a pretty common food ingredient. It's added as a thickener. It absorbs a lot of water. It can, even in gluten-free baking, you'll see guar gum come up from time to time because it has these kind of binding properties. The downside to guar gum on its own is that it has an awful texture. It's part of in that class of fiber supplements that make us kind of shy away and not very conducive for everyday compliance. But this product is different. So the company that produces this ingredient has learned that through enzymatically hydrolyzing, so chopping up the guar molecule into smaller portions, changes its property and really enhances first its solubility. It can actually mix very nicely into water without changing into taste or texture. It enhances its prebiotic properties. So getting into a term that maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. I think most people are certainly familiar with the term probiotic. So these are the bacteria that we can, get at the health food store or the pharmacy. They come in a pill, and when we consume those, they're supposed to confer some kind of benefit to our overall gastrointestinal tract. My opinion, and the opinion of other health experts, is that sometimes these probiotics can be effective. However, they typically contain, we'll say, anywhere from 3, maybe up to 12 different types of bacteria. But the human gut microbiome is made up of hundreds of different types of bacteria. And a lot of these bacteria, the majority of them, are very important for overall health and well-being. So to get the true benefits of a healthy microbiome, you need all of those bacteria to thrive and to flourish. And so now a lot of the emphasis is on these prebiotic fibers. So these are soluble fibers that have shown their selective ability to increase good bacteria as well as decrease bad bacteria. And that's what the science behind partially hydrolyzed guar gum indicates. It is increasing all the good bacteria that are associated with good health outcomes and decreasing some of the bad ones that are the culprits of creating those imbalances and that gut inflammation. It can also increase what's called a bacterial metabolite or postbiotic. So this is when the good bacteria are consuming these prebiotic fibers. What they're doing is they're doing something good for our gut, and that the good thing they're doing for the gut is they're producing things like butyrate, butyric acid. Butyric acid is one of the preferred foods of our gastrointestinal cells. The cells that line our gastrointestinal system have unique nutritional needs. And so there's an exchange, like when we do something good for these bacteria, they do something very good for us. One of them is butyrate. Some of the other things that these bacteria are producing are your B vitamins. You could take some B vitamins from a supplement, you can get it in the food, but also these bacteria, when they're thriving, are producing really good levels of vitamin B12 and all the other B vitamins. In clinical trials, this partially hydrolyzed guar gum has shown to decrease constipation, really get control over diarrhea, significantly reduce bloating and abdominal pain. It even it's one of the few fibers that have actually shown efficacy in reducing the symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. So we talked about that earlier. That was one of the things that made me very interested in this particular ingredient, because I knew it would potentially have an impact on my particular situation. So when you take these fibers, there's also additional benefits like reducing the glycemic load or index of the meal that you're eating. So one of the most important things to think about when producing optimal well-being is keeping your blood sugars regulated. Even small increases in blood sugar over time will have quite a significant impact in your aging profile. So when we take something like partially hydrolyzed guar gum or gut glow, we can actually reduce the glycemic response. And this is a very good thing for producing overall kind of health and well-being. The other thing is that a lot of soluble fibers that you can get at the pharmacy and the health food store are in fact soluble fibers. They have some benefit as they should increase in your total fiber intake. However, they also cause an increase in flatulence and sometimes bloating and irritability. So sometimes a fiber can actually have a negative effect on the gastric environment. So we want ones that are called low FODMAP. These are the ones that are not going to cause a bloating and increase flatulence and gas. And of course, Bend is always going to make sure that the ingredients that we're sourcing are in fact sustainably and ethically sourced. The next ingredient is another prebiotic fiber. It's acacia gum, as you know. It is also clinically proven. And when we look at some of the benefits of what acacia gum is providing, it's very similar to the previous ingredient, partially hydrolyzed guar gum, and that it does, as a prebiotic fiber, it does increase good bacteria, it decreases bad bacteria, and it increases butyrate, making our intestinal cells super happy. One thing that I really like about this product is it has been shown to increase a particular gut bacteria called Akkermansia. Akkermansia is getting a lot of attention these days because it has been associated with improvements in your metabolic function. It has an anti-diabetic and an anti-obesity impact on the body. So yeah, these unique bacteria can have very significant impacts on things like, how well we metabolize our food, our energy production levels, our ability to utilize fat as fuel source, our propensity to store things as fat. So creating a very healthy metabolic profile is something that acacia gum can do through enhancing the relative levels of this particular bacteria called Akkermansia. It has also been studied to support digestive health by promoting just regular healthy bowel movements and preventing constipation. So it's similar to the other fiber ingredient. It slows down the digestion rate of which nutrients get absorbed. That is very good because we don't want spikes in anything. We want this. Our body does much better when we have a nice, consistent flow of nutrients kind of entering into our bloodstream and through our liver and nourishing all the other cells. We don't like things that really spike. It is also low FODMAP, so once again, it's not like other fiber supplements, not going to create the bloating and the flatulence. And it's very sustainably sourced. It is actually the sap of a tree called the acacia tree, the Acacia senegal tree, which grows primarily in the country of Senegal in Africa. So it is a very important export from that particular part of the world. So I've talked about a lot of the benefits of these ingredients, kind of the rationale, why would we actually include these into this gut glow formula? But when it comes down to what are we actually promoting as far as Health Canada authorized claims? So Health Canada reviewing all the scientific data, the efficacy, the safety, and this is the list of the claims that are approved by Health Canada. It is a source of fiber for the maintenance of healthy gastrointestinal functions. So a very kind of overarching kind of healthy, gut claim. It is a source of prebiotic fiber. Consumers more and more are learning about prebiotic fibers and they want to see that. It helps to improve intestinal and bowel regularity, helps to relieve constipation, bloating, flatulence, and mild gastrointestinal comfort in people with irritable bowel syndrome. So pretty substantial claims there. A gentle relief of constipation, much better than aggressive relief of constipation, which when we take laxatives, we know what that means. Laxatives are terrible and sometimes habit forming. So at all costs, we want to avoid taking laxatives. Sometimes, I guess they are a necessary evil, but when you have a product like this in your life, you can hopefully prevent, but if needed, it's going to create a more kind of a gentle relief of your constipation. It is a source of fungal polysaccharides. Don't be scared of the word fungal. Fungal just means mushroom. So it's a source of mushroom polysaccharides with immunomodulating properties. So once again, going back to the importance of the gut immune system, it's impacting the immune system all over our body. So we need something that's going to be able to regulate and modulate that immune system in the gut. And immune and inflammation, they're two sides of the same coin. So we can almost sometimes use them interchangeably. So when we say immunomodulate, it is having that ability to control inflammation in the gut environment, and also helps to reduce the glycemic response and index when taken with food, as I was just kind of describing. And of course, I think by now, yeah, it kind of fits. I showed, the framework for our skin climate system. It fits very nicely, complementing the other products. And, we know that, our consumers are looking for best practice when it comes to skincare. They're ready to invest in their healthy looking skin, as well as their overall well-being and promoting longevity. So this is a really important product to really complement the existing portfolio that we have. And of course, it's supported by clinical research. So when you recommend a Ben product, including Gut Glow, you can do so with confidence that the consumer is going to come back and thank you for that recommendation, because it's going to work for them. So what is the dosage and how do you take this? So it is indicated for adults 19 and above. If you're going to recommend it to someone less than 19, you'll have to get, talk to a qualified healthcare professional to understand if that is a good decision or not. So inside this, the pouch is actually a scoop. This is the first product that actually comes with a pre-measured scoop for you to use to make it even easier. And it's either a dose of 2 scoops or 3 scoops. So the 2 scoops is going to be more of a source of fiber and the maintenance of good health. But if you want the more therapeutic benefits, you're going to take the 3 scoops. That includes, the bloating, the flatulence, the relief of constipation, the controlling of the symptoms associated with IBS. Those are all for the 3 scoops. And so, if you take 2 or 3, it's going to influence how many servings that you get. So in 2 scoops, you're getting 45 servings, and 3 scoops, you're getting 30 servings. Right? So even at the higher, more therapeutic dose, you're still getting a full month supply here. And of course, one of the nice things is this product, has so many benefits, but we know that we won't get the compliance from people unless this can incorporate into their daily life, that it doesn't have the same stigma associated with other fiber products maybe that you've tried in the past. So this is a powder that can mix. If you put it in water and you mix it around, it's going to fully dissolve, and it's not going to change the taste or the texture of your water, right? It's so neutral in its properties that you can actually add this to your coffee and you're still drinking your coffee. It tastes like your coffee, both in taste and texture. It could go into tea, it can go into smoothies. There's so many different ways that you can actually take this. You could even bake with this. That is totally acceptable. So a lot of different ways that you can make this part of your daily routine, your healthy skin habits. And we've talked a little bit about how this product, differs from other products, other fiber products on the market. And first of all, we call this one, it's more complete. So we're really going after addressing all the facets that constitute healthy gastrointestinal function. So it's not just about getting more fiber into the diet, it's about getting the right fibers that are having a lot of the positive benefits without sometimes the side effects that fibers come along with, as well as getting into the gut or intestinal immunity and inflammatory system. This is really important because I think it's just when you start to understand the biology of the gut, you understand, you can't create a healthy gut environment by just producing or by just providing fibers. That is the old way of thinking. Now we know that what we're doing is we're really interacting very intimately with the immune system of the body and the inflammatory system that will impact the rest of the body and how we feel. This is a prebiotic, so once again, this is a type of fiber that is going to really help boost your gut microbiome, both in diversity as well as abundance, and consumers are looking for this. And it is so easy. Like I said, it's no goopiness, no gritty textures, no plugging your nose. This can really go into anything, and you don't have to worry about impacting the taste or texture of whatever you're consuming. And this product launch has garnered a lot of interest from media, from health experts, right across Canada, and even into the US. So please, if you follow us on social, you'll get to see what the experts are saying about this product. And I think it's just a reflection of the fact gut health is very topical these days. It's something that is impacting a lot of people. We've all been through a really stressful period, and stress has huge impacts on our gastrointestinal function. So maybe the world now is kind of going back to the core, getting to the root of, I want to produce optimal physiological and psychological well-being. Well, this is the place to start. It all starts in the gut. So I'm going to wrap up the presentation, and we have, I think, some room now for Q&A.
Thanks, Mark. That is such a fascinating presentation. I love learning something new every time we talk about gut flow. It just makes me more and more excited to take it every single day. So we do have one question so far. Again, please pop your questions in the chat or the Q&A, and Mark will answer all of them. We do have time. The first one is it advised to take in the morning or at night?
I think it is about what is going to work for your lifestyle. Like all of our products, it's really about getting it into a daily habit. And so it's not going to be more efficacious if you take it in the morning or if you take it into the night. So please do it based on your preference. Me personally, when I come to the office, I stop by my favorite little cafe. I get my oat milk or almond cappuccino, bring it to the office, get into the cupboard, and I do 1-2 scoops, mix it in, and I'm still drinking my cappuccino. I haven't done anything to impact the taste of it, and now I just feel like it's just going to be that much more healthy for me.
We have another comment here from someone who doesn't find that it completely dissolves. So they've tried it in water, juice, and almond milk. Do you have any tips or tricks for getting it to mix really well?
I think if you let it sit long enough, it will completely dissolve. It doesn't happen instantly. And if it doesn't fully dissolve, that's okay too, because it's still not really impacting the taste and texture. It's a little bit like the collagen itself, the marine collagen plus cofactors product. It doesn't instantly dissolve right away, but if you let it sit long enough, you'll find that it's going to fully dissolve. Warmer liquid, so if you were to put this in your coffee or tea, you're going to see that it actually dissolves faster. But once again, I put it into my cappuccino and I start drinking it right away, and you would never know that it's there. But I do agree, like it's not like instantly dissolve, but it will in fact dissolve. But I think at the end of the day, it's still what we don't want is something that's going to affect the texture or taste of something that we're consuming.
Marc, do you want to maybe speak to the ability to use this product with other supplements or with medications? I know we have an indication on the package about that.
Yeah, sometimes products come along with a Health Canada, warning, and so this is not necessarily something that we came across in the research, but this is something that Health Canada, makes any fiber product put onto the the label. So if you were, taking Metamucil or some kind of other fiber product, they in Canada, if they're a registered product, which they should be, they're always going to have that particular warning. So, we have to comply with the regulations, so we have to have that on the on the label. So I would say try to be as compliant as possible with all the instructions that are on the label.
I think that is all we have. If there are any other questions from anyone, please ask them.
One thing that I would like to add too is like when you start thinking about engaging with clients, we do know that because of the gut-skin connection, if someone's presenting with like eczema or rosacea, this might be a good product to recommend to them. But what I would be doing is I would say, okay, what are the product solutions? So a lot of our products can work very much kind of complementary to each other. So the perfect pairing in that case would be the Renew and Protect, which also has the ability to modulate aspects of our biochemistry to improve conditions like eczema. In fact, Renew and Protect is authorized by Health Canada to treat the symptoms of eczema. So that would be a really, really nice pairing, is to have Renew and Protect and Gut Glow as part of your protocol for someone that is suffering from some of these more overt inflammatory and immune conditions of the skin.
And Marc, I think it's also very fitting for a lot of our accounts and our partners who are working, primarily with women and often women, approaching menopause or in menopause, for them to be aware that, that is something that comes up in conversation. Maybe you could speak a little bit more to how Gut Glow fits into, people at that stage of their life, and how fiber is kind of not really discussed enough, and how it's something that's, so important for women, particularly at that stage in life. Yeah, so it is obviously an important phase of life for women, where there is a lot of things that are shifting. It's not an easy transition, and the ability to support the body to go through that transition should be part of the approach. And I think there's more and more evidence to show that creating a healthy gut environment, and once again, the microbiome gets, there's linkages to so many, all aspects of our well-being, that they're now saying increasing soluble fiber, especially prebiotic soluble fiber during menopause, is a very positive thing that should help support a more balanced, healthy transition into that next phase of life. So it's, fiber has kind of resurfaced as one of the hot topics that is going to, it becomes relevant to really anyone at any stage. I think that if there's one of the areas that is the most exciting about about health and well-being, it is the gut, and it's the microbiome. I mentioned earlier the gut-brain axis. So I receive a myriad of testimonials, and keep in mind, this product has only been out for 2 months, and we've already amassed quite a list of testimonials from consumers out there.
And their comments are quite broad. And there are some that are saying, I just have the ability to focus more. My thoughts are clear. I just feel like I have better cognitive functioning. That is, in fact, that's, I think, twofold. That's the gut brain axis, and that's also the tremella mushroom. There is definitely some research kind of emerging to support it may be able to support better cognitive function. I had a doctor the other day that reached out to me. She said, holy cow, like, what did you put in this product? She said, after just a single dosage, the irritation, inflammation in her gut subsided. So we didn't really talk about this, and as actually probably in hindsight, I should have added a slide about when can I expect to see benefits? And what we're seeing is actually, it's really making us extra excited about the product, because I think I would have advised people that within a month you'll start to see, like any of our other products, within a month you're going to start to see those benefits. Now we're getting people saying within a day, within just a few days. And in fact, the testimonial I just received last week is like within one serving, you're going to experience the benefits of gut glow. So I do feel very comfortable saying within the first week of use, you and your clients, you could expect to see a lot of positive changes. And it's not just about that bowel irregularity. It's really about how we feel, even emotionally. I know that personally, I think the product of being able to keep my IBS under control, I find I have sharper focus. I can concentrate better. My mood and my energy levels have been elevated. So when we have those underlying inflammatory processes kind of a little bit out of control, it is actually impacting our overall metabolism. Now, I think there's probably a lot more going on than just that, but I have personally noticed that my energy levels have not just been elevated, but they've been sustained. And I think other members of the team have, I mean, I've been experimenting with this product through the development phases for 3 years now, so I'm a lot more, intimately connected to its properties. But I think for the team at Ben Beauty, who have just recently had a chance to really start to experiment or experience the benefits, they are also seeing, fairly quick results. So I don't know if anyone I know there are some members of the Ben team on here, if they want to if they feel they want to share any of their personal stories or people that they know that have given gut glow a try, please share that.
Yeah, I think it's really important to note that, it is such a spectrum of, what people experience. So, for those who might be more regular or feel like they don't really have gut issues, maybe the benefits that you're going to start to see are more of those, glycemic response being more regulated. Maybe you're getting more of that sharper focus and energy. And it might take a little bit longer, whereas someone who's, maybe, a real sufferer with gut issues, they might start to see the benefits much quicker. And then, of course, with your clients, you'll see it in their skin. So you can kind of pinpoint when, someone's got something going on with their gut health. And just, from talking to folks since we've released this product, I will just say, it's been quite an eye opener that so many people have suffered quietly, and it's something that is so not talked about. But with just introducing this product, it's now something we're having conversations about daily. So it's really, it's really unfortunate that so many people have been struggling with this and not having a solution for it. So I think, just having it out there, just having that hashtag on your social or in your waiting area, like on the marketing material, it's a really great opportunity to open the door for those conversations that, your client might not have felt like they wanted to have before. And Laura just said it's such a great added product to the lineup. So thank you, Laura.
Who would have thought a beauty company would come up with a product that is focused on your bowel function? Any other? Of course, you all know how to reach us. We're always here to support you along the journey. And yeah, feel free to reach out, and I hope you do give it a try. I hope you give it a try personally, so that you can talk firsthand to your clients about the product and what to expect from taking it. Yeah. Well, thank you again, Laura, for those comments. Very kind. So, and if you want to revisit this recording will be available, in the future. So we'll make sure you know when that becomes available.
Yeah, we'll send an email around to everyone who registered. So if there were other people on your team that were not able to attend today, they'll have an opportunity to do the training. We also have our online learning management system. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, it is our online portal for all of our product education. So you can always revisit that for this product as well as all of our other products as well. All right. Thanks,
So
everybody.
thank you so much for coming out, and enjoy the rest of the day.